All right, I'm Tina.
Rachel,
I'm the Braveheart.
the leader.
So, I can't see any of you, so I'm talking to everybody right now. Yeah, we're Paranormal Expeditions. We're the fearless girl group of paranormal, trying to, break away for women. You don't really see us very often, but we're trying to do something different. And, yeah, that's some of the stuff.
Yeah, and definitely. We like to focus a lot on the intelligent responses and things that we get from a lot of our investigations. What you got to hear right now, the hey Jack is me, it was actually caught in Middleborough Town Hall after our eye-ovulus had said the name Jack. So what we're dealing with in most of these cases are intelligent responses. And we get a lot of slack for the, we don't know what to even classify it as, if it's a disembodied voice, mechanical manipulation, but the get out on the USS Salem was the first Class A EVP that actually put us on the map.
It was our first investigation, actually. A little bit of how we started. We have been investigating as a group for about 2 years. We actually met at a nail salon. I know. We met at a nail salon. She was showing the lady the EVP, and we exchanged numbers, and I was too scared to go on ghost hunts. I was petrified, and I don't even know why I said I don't even know why I agreed to it, but I did. Something inside me we connected right away, and she called the next day, and we set up a time to go to the USS Salem, and the rest is kind of history. That was our first investigation, and that was our very first major piece of evidence that kind of put us on the map. We were immediately contacted by the guys at Spooky South Coast, Tim Weisberg and Matt Moniz. They were awesome guys. I don't know if you guys have ever met them, but yeah, it was one of our first radio shows. We're very proud of that.
Yeah, and directly from there, we actually got a show called PXP Live, which we focused at that point on cryptozoology. And we did a lot of studies and stuff and kept it interesting. We like all aspects of the paranormal, but there is so much focus that's needed just for apparitions, ghosts, and spirits that we really wanted to lay our focus on investigating and uncovering as much evidence as we possibly could.
And a little bit about us. I'm a professional photographer, and I have a degree in photography, so I like to think I know what I'm doing with the camera, how to kind of look at the pictures and analyze them. And Rachel's awesome with her EVP detection. She has the best ears I've ever witnessed. She can make, I don't know how she does it. I'm like, how do you even hear that? And then she'll keep playing it for me, then I'll end up actually hearing it.
Yeah, and it's really all about tuning into all of your abilities. We all have them. We can all heighten our awareness and strengthen a lot of the skills that you hear and see people have every single day. Tina has a keen eye because she's a professional photographer, so that aids us in seeing what is, a dust orb or what is considered a more credible piece of evidence. And sometimes we take the orbs that we find or that we see and we classify them depending on how we feel about them. If we get that jolt in your stomach, or you feel like there's a little bit more to the orb, we definitely classify it differently. We don't discount any of our evidence until further review as of late.
I'm very weary of putting orbs out there just because of all the dust everywhere, but I like when I find like a really colored orb and all that stuff. And when there's it's the dead of winter time, there's no bugs or anything, and you're kind of in a not dusty place.
And you learn along the way, even if you do make mistakes, that you have to learn to look back and laugh at yourself. You gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Paranormal challenge.
Yeah, paranormal
I'm that
challenge.
group that dropped everything.
In the first, I think, less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I always say they gave us the Jack in the Box bag, and they shook it up. We actually flipped a coin to grab that specific bag that we got off the station. But
I think it was funny. I know we got a lot of heat for it, for dropping our equipment, but who has ever dropped equipment, ever? Thank you. Thank you for raising your hand. We just so happen to do it with millions of people watching.
And we were also given a lot of slack on the show for pet naming our equipment. The thermal thingy is one of them.
We have shirts now. Thermal thingy, BP thingy.
And we actually had a lot of support from the everyday community, from women coming forward and saying, that is what they call their thingies. I find myself doing it, and now I listen in and laugh when other people do it too.
Oh yeah, I noticed my mom, all she says give me the thingy over there. I'm like, it's your fault, I got made fun of.
Zach Bagan said thingy, I think 2 months after we got so much slack for it, but But you gotta laugh at yourself and you gotta not take it too seriously. We're all here for the same reason, and that's, you know, exactly what's been portrayed today, is uncovering the best evidence that we know how. Saying there's too many paranormal investigators, good paranormal investigators, is like saying there's too many good medical doctors. There's just not enough of us. And sticking together is so important for us, and not being catty is so important for us. Because if you're too busy judging, you're missing out on all the wonderful, important things that you could be seeing and experiencing. So we always definitely say, like, don't judge a book by its cover, because we're going to come walking in with our feathers and our crazy jewelry and all kinds of crazy stuff, and we're still going to do the best job that we know how to do, and share as much experience and evidence with our paranormal family as we possibly can.
And we're very, very honored to be here with all of you guys. It was such an honor meeting everybody. Everyone is so cool. That's what I love events personally. I love going to big expos and even the little local events, because you get to meet these incredible people that you end up staying connected with afterwards, and that's what we are. We're a community. We love what we do, and we have a passion for it. We're all open-minded, and it's just, I don't know, it's awesome and really cool. And I'm rambling on because I don't know what to say, but I think it's awesome that we all came here today for our little angel, right, BRYONA, is that how you say it? Yeah. We got our cool basket here with our Hello Kitty. How to bring the girl power somehow.
And it does show you how close and how you know, the good intentions that come from everyone in the paranormal community, that we're all sitting here today, and that we are here for this little girl who needs us so much, and that is putting faith in our community to step up and help her out. And so we're honored to be here with all of you guys. We have taken a chance to kind of check you all out and see what's going on, and we absolutely love everyone's individual style. Everything from the t-shirts to the hearse to, you know, everything stylistically that is being brought forward is just absolutely amazing. And I just say, keep it coming. Like, I can't be entertained enough by the paranormal.
Yeah,
So.
it's awesome. Everyone's so different, and they all have such unique points of views, and I love just picking everyone's brain on everything, and I could go on and on about my theories, and so could everybody else. But that's the beauty of this field, is we're just going to keep on growing, keep on connecting and sharing, and like everybody else said today on that stage, that's the only way we're going to go further, is if we stay together as a community, paranormal unity, help each other, promote positiveness, and laugh at yourself. Everyone's so serious all the time. You know, I'm full of goofy faces all the time, and I don't know, you just gotta have fun with it.
And it's always nice to see a little bit of that little bit of difference in the crowd.
What should we talk about next?
Does anybody have any questions for us? You can even ask personal questions about the Paranormal Challenge,
We don't care.
if you'd like, about Zach Bagans, if you'd like.
What's the scariest thing that you ever ran into in an investigation?
What's the scariest one?
For me, I personally just had an experience with the Freetown murder investigation. I am sensitive, so I do hear, see, and smell things that are out of our realm, out of our dimension, a lot of the time. But most recently at the Freetown murder investigation, I was actually punched in the throat. It was caught on film. It took my breath away. The interesting thing about that was the cases surrounding this area were women our age that had suffered, you know, right around the same before they were murdered and left to die out in these locations. So we wanted to kind of bring it closer to home, and that's what we managed to do. And I think that the personal experiences that we've had most recently even outweigh.
Mine was last week. Yeah. In LA, we conducted an investigation, and wait till you see the footage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
week away.
I just admitted that I was price sensitive. She kind of convinced me I was, because I'll be going on these investigations, and I get seriously physically affected to the point where I can't go on. I'll get really ill and sick to my stomach, and I finally admitted I'm sensitive, and I think I'm trying to develop those skills. I think we're all born with it, and it's just like your other five senses. You can develop it and make it stronger. So with that said, we're conducting an investigation. We're starting to we love our tech stuff. We're techie geeks and all that stuff, but we're doing the alternative form. We have our pendulums, our stones, our sage, and we want to explore something different. That's what we're all here for, to try something different, and it might just work for them better. And we're sitting there, we're conducting an EVP session, and asking questions with the pendulum. And I think I channeled the spirit, and I got kind of partially possessed. It wasn't demonic or anything, but they were asking questions, and it was like they were asking me the questions. And Rachel said I looked at her and one of my eyes was big and one was small, so.
We actually caught it all on film. It was actually the scariest thing ever. I think that when you're dealing with things, you know, otherworldly things, we are just starting to, like Tina said, to expand our tools in the investigation field. Not everything has to have a light on it. We're actually calling the universe to us and seeing what we can come up with. And sometimes in doing that, you leave yourself vulnerable. And so we do the best we can to cleanse ourselves. We don't necessarily say that we can cleanse an area. We don't claim to have that kind of, you know, we don't have that kind of power behind us as of yet. But what we can do is kind of clear ourselves from the negative energy.
How would you react if you were involved in a demonic case?
How would I react? Probably run right through the door, but I don't know. I really don't know what I do. I don't think I've encountered something that evil yet, but I guess I would try to surround myself with the white light. We met Lorraine Warren at her occult museum. She's awesome, loving, caring woman. She's unbelievable. She worked on the Amityville horror case with her and her husband, Ed Warren. He's a demonologist. And she just told us the way to protect yourself is with the white light, surround yourself, and if you're vulnerable and you're not protecting yourself, you will get harmed. I believe that. If you let yourself, you will. So.
And we always try to arm ourselves with things that we believe are, like Tina always carries her crucifix from Ireland with her whenever she goes on investigation. We all have our own personal good luck charms. But I myself, I rely on friends that are experts in demonology. So should a case come by our way, I always hand it off to somebody that I feel as though is capable of handling that situation. I don't want to put myself in a position, nor do I want to put the families that we're dealing with in these very sensitive cases and situations in a position to be under attack even further. So what we do is we would call somebody like yourself, which is, you know, an expert in the field. You wouldn't call, you know, a chef to do an auto mechanic's job. So basically, that's what you do is you're not afraid to say, I'm not sure exactly how to handle this, will you help me? So we kind of hold hands in the paranormal community, and we have people that we pass these, you know, high-profile investigation cases to, for our own protection, too.
Any other questions? Yeah?
The nail salon that you guys met at, was it haunted?
I don't know.
No, what had happened there was I had just investigated the Houghton Mansion.
The haunted manicures.
Yeah, and I had caught an EVP of a little girl that I believe is my personal ghost. Her name is Maybelle Dayer. She's 3 years, 5 months, and 8 days old. And I saw her basically all of my life. And when I was 13 years old, a landline was being dug into my Native American reservation to provide more electricity to my reservation, and they found her stone. So it was basically validated to me that this little girl that I had been seeing all of my life was less than 100 yards away from the bedroom window that I had slept in from the day I was brought home from the hospital. So that's where it began for me, and we catch her on our equipment all the time. This particular time I had just gotten into DVR, and I decided to play with it, and I caught Maybelle saying, "Rachel," from like almost another dimension. And when I brought it in, I was showing everybody. I was stopping people on the street.
Didn't even know you were this. Listen to my EVP.
Oh my gosh, you gotta hear this. So Tina, with her skills as a professional photographer, I thought that she could lend me a hand with being able to decipher some of the things that I had caught on video and see if, you know, she could lend her expertise in that area. And it just wound up being a really good fit from that point on.
So it was the paranormal that brought you together, not nails.
Right, exactly. In its own way. The environment that we were brought together in was a beauty salon.
I was like, of course it was.
Common
People ask me.
denominator was the EVP. And I always fear that I missed that day. You ever worry that you fell asleep, like you have a nightmare, like you missed the day that you met your wife? I mean, you don't. But in most cases you miss the day, you know, like you want to make sure that day is always really going to happen. And I have nightmares.
Never met you.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't meet Tina, you know? I do that to myself. I torture myself like that sometimes. But since then, I don't bring the EVPs to the nail salon anymore. We do them in our house.
I guess another thing we've kind of gotten asked about is we do dress up with some investigations. You know, we try to keep it PG-13 type thing. But with our Middleborough Town Hall investigation, Rachel had this awesome idea. It was just 2 days after my birthday, and there's reports of activity when parties are going. And so we thought we'd, create a party, but we'll do what PXP always does, we'll take it to the next level. So we had a Mad Hatter unbirthday tea party, so we...
I made the cake.
Yeah.
It was fun and edible.
We want to do something really creative. We're both artists, and I know we get a lot of slack for maybe, I don't know, being too girly sometimes. I don't care. But we're both really creative, just like everybody is in this field. We all have our creative ways of doing things, and by doing that, we got some awesome evidence.
I feel as though that the thermal image that we caught, that you guys actually saw during the presentation, was actually caught at Middleborough Town Hall when we were conducting this experiment to see if the levels of activity raised while we were doing a faux party. So definitely everybody's got their little tricks and things like that that they do to raise the levels of activity, and we love to see each and every one. Bye guys, thank you. Thank you.